To all our Connections Luxury members and to all our friends from around the world, a very warm welcome. It's great to see so many of you logged on today. My name is Lara Schmidt. I'm sales manager at Collections Luxury. Our fourth Connect Talks of 2022 is going to be exploring luxury romance travel. And we are very happy today to be joined by Nancy Barkley of Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways, who will be giving us her insights on how to become a world-class wedding planner. This session will be interactive, and so in the spirit of our ethos, I encourage you all to get involved and have your cameras on, which most of you have already, and feel free to ask any questions in the chat box. Before I introduce our guest today, I wanted to mention that I am joined by my colleagues Hannah Whitney from Operations, who will be sharing information, spotlighting our session, and will be interacting with you in the chat, and Amanda Williams from Marketing, who will be tweeting live throughout. Also, hello to everyone of the Connections team who are joining us today. This session will last up to an hour and is being recorded. So if you have any colleagues or friends who might find this Connect Talks useful, we will be distributing the talk in the coming days. So we're ready to begin. It is safe to say that the pandemic has disrupted the wedding events industry, but has it changed the industry for good? What are the new trends that are emerging, and how can you work with your clients to ensure that the romance in the lives is kept live and kicking? In this Connect Talks session, Nancy Barkley, owner of Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways, will explore the future of the multi-million-dollar wedding tourism industry, and how even if you don't think that you're a specialist wedding planner, you can take advantage of the romance travel business. Romance travel covers not only destination weddings, but honeymoons, elopements, engagements, vow renewals, anniversary travel, all collectively wedding tourism. So the floor is yours, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you so much to joining me. My name is Nancy Barkley. As mentioned, I am the owner and founder of Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways. I am based in Philadelphia. I have been dedicated to the hospitality industry for a little over 25 years, so I'm dating myself. My specialty is destination weddings. I have planned countless destination weddings, elopements, romance travel, anything related to romance travel. It is my passion. I speak about it. I still plan it. I still learn about it because I think education is key and you have to keep yourself updated with education. And I also like sharing my tips and advice. And I think once you get into destination weddings and you start planning it, you just become so passionate about it. You just want to share it and talk about it to everybody. And also from a business standpoint, I was in corporate America travel, international, before I started my business in 2005. And when I started Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways, I did not have one customer. I started, from scratch, and I took my meaning and incentive international background, and I use that because basically I was doing VIP international meaning and incentive travel, which really is like planning a destination wedding. So I used that training and turned it into starting to do destination weddings. And you'll find once, if you really want to start getting into planning destination weddings, it's good for your business, because if you do one destination wedding, the referrals keep coming in, and then you kind of have the spiral effect for your business, and your business grows with that. So with that, I'm going to start my presentation. So as I mentioned, I'm Nancy Barkley. I'm the owner and founder of Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways, and the title is Exploring Luxury Romance Travel. So what is romance travel? Romance travel is the extended arm of the world of weddings. So it's not just destination weddings. It involves everything that you can imagine that goes into weddings. So destination elopements, that has become very popular. I think elopements were always popular, but directly related to COVID, it has become more popular because they're easier to plan. I'm partnered with a wedding planner in Italy. Italy is always a great destination wedding to go to. But with COVID, it's much easier to plan for 2 or maybe 4 people to do a destination elopement rather than, for a whole larger party for a wedding. And also, destination elopements are becoming in themselves a trend. So you can go away and you can elope and you can have the gorgeous photo sessions and everything that's involved with a wedding. But now people are putting like a twist on the destination elopements. Adventure elopements have become very popular. These are just things that people are looking to just get out and to do more. So they're looking to do a destination elopement, but with more adventure. And then moving on to vow renewals, that's really popular as well too. And they're becoming into trips. People were usually doing it at milestones. So, you're married 25 years, so you want to renew your vows. But now I have seen that more and more people are doing it at 5 years and 10 years. And again, this is a trip. This is like going to a great destination. It's like, going to Iceland and renewing your vows. And that's where it's up to you as the destination expert they're coming to you for ideas and they want to do something different. So that's where you have to keep educating yourself and to knowing what is out there. Engagement trips. Oh my gosh, it's mind blowing now what people are doing for engagement trips. I mean, it used to be, just going and posing the question maybe at dinner. Not anymore. Now people are going to Paris. They're proposing at the Eiffel Tower. They're going to, I had a request and yes, and it's wonderful. And this is the fun part of it. I had a request for a groom to propose at the Blue Grotto in Italy. I mean, it was absolutely positively amazing. I don't know if anyone's been in the Blue Grotto, but you go in the little boat and they proposed right in there. And it's just all about experiences now. Everybody wants experiences. They've been in the house for so long, they really just want the experiences. Anniversary travel. Again, this goes anywhere from 1st anniversaries to 5 anniversaries to your 10th anniversary. It's just about doing something, of course, romantic, but just finding the destination that is right for the couple. Maybe, they didn't, for their honeymoon, they didn't go where they really wanted to for whatever reason. So to really get more involved with their anniversary travel. And then, of course, there's a honeymoon. I mean, that is all about, I have found with destination weddings, a lot of people now are combining the destination with the honeymoon, or there's different trends with the honeymoons as well. Some people are taking mini moons and waiting and taking a longer honeymoon when they can. One trend that I personally have found is people are doing it last minute. And I really think that all has to do with the circumstances and with COVID. I know a lot of people say to plan ahead of time, and it's really good to plan ahead of time, which it is, but I have been getting personally requests for last minute honeymoons. Then moving on to finding the hidden location gems and venues for couples. As I mentioned, travel and exploring is always, if you can, the best thing. So if you get the chance, to do it, if you get the chance to go to Alaska and go on a plane or wherever you are traveling, I think that is the best way to find the experiences for your clients and to be able to really passionately talk about them. One thing I always recommend wherever you go is to hire a local guide. I cannot emphasize that enough. When you go to these destinations, these local guides, some of them, have to get their master's degree, and it's their job and they know the location inside and out, and they're going to be able to tell you what to look for, where the great venues are, where the locals go. So I cannot emphasize enough to hire a local guide when you do travel. And then another thing is attending events. I'm going to plug Connections Luxury. It has been great for me. I have been so lucky to be part of this wonderful community. I've met so many wonderful people, and they have talks like this. They have trips, so you can take advantage of networking and collaborating with them and meeting the different places. Also meeting with tourism boards. I don't know if there's any tourism boards on here, or if, hopefully they're going to listen to it, but tourism boards really are helpful. If you don't know a destination, there's so much training that they're able to offer. They're there to help you. They want you to bring business to them. So if you're looking for, to bring a wedding or to bring a honeymoon and you're not sure about it, I encourage you to reach out to the tourism boards. I know that they all offer training. I personally am still taking training, even though I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm constantly, learning from the different destinations. If you don't get to travel, then to take advantage and go to the tourism boards. The trade shows, oh gosh, they're opening back up, right? I mean, everyone's Zoom fatigued. It's one plus is it that you're able to meet more people worldwide, which I think is great, but I don't think anything beats going in person to the trade shows. So, there are so many that are available that you can go and you can, meet with the hotels one-on-one, meet with the tourism boards one-on-one, and just, ask them the questions and tell them what you're looking for. Well, here is how you get to the role of the wedding planner as a facilitator and the influencer. So I know that word, the influencer, it's probably overused, but it is true. As a wedding planner, and I am a certified wedding planner, I am the influencer. So, a couple contacts me and they want to have a destination wedding. First of all, the first thing I do is to manage expectations. Because if you do start getting into destination weddings, you really need to, destination weddings aren't for everybody. So you need to manage the couple's expectations, tell them ahead of time, if you, like an onboarding process. If you're getting a new job, like you need to onboard them to tell them that this is what's going to be entailed. This is what you need to tell your guests. This is what is going to happen if you do have a destination wedding planning. But then you're the influencer. So now they decided, yes, I want to have a destination wedding. It's for me. Now you're influencing them. Where are they going to have it? So you're picking the location of, right? You're influencing the location. You're influencing the venue. You're influencing the vendors and this, and I'm going to talk about this later, but I cannot stress enough how you have to have a great relationship with your vendors, trustworthy vendors. So you are able to influence the couple on the vendors that you're using. Then, now that you have all this in place, you need to facilitate it, right? So I'm going to circle back to the vendors. I mean, you really need to have vetted vendors that are going to be there for you. Also, if you're not going to attend the wedding, as a wedding planner, a lot of times I go on site with my guests, but if you're not able to go on site with your guests, your vendors, you need to trust them so much because they're going to be an extension of you. They're a reflection. So the florist that I have doing the flowers in Lake Como, that's a reflection of Nancy Barkley at Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways. So you really, really need to trust your vendors. And connections, which is why we're all here, right? With Connections Luxury. I mean, you need to have the connections, you need to have the relationships, you need to be able to reach out and say, hey, I have a guest here, what do you think? Or you need to have them in place and something happens because, in the travel industry, something's going to happen, right? Something is inevitably going to go, you have to have a plan A, B, and C. but you need to be able to have that connection to pick up the phone and to be able to work with the vendor and have the relationships. And this is a perfect picture. I mean, this is, you know, an elopement in Paris. It's only 2 people, but how great is that? I mean, right? Like, you don't really need any more than the Eiffel Tower as a background. So, and Paris is always a good idea. Now I'm going to go into the top industry. In the US, we're lucky enough to be able to get statistics from the Wedding Report. I have scoured all over trying to get global figures, and I have not been able. They're starting to come out, but the ones that I were able to get were for the US, and there was just such pent up demand because of weddings and cancellations and COVID and blah, blah, blah. They actually, I just pulled a report yesterday, 2.47 million weddings are predicted for 2022. I actually emailed them back and I'm like, are you sure with this? Because that really sounds like a lot. And that's true. I have the report to show it. It's absolutely amazing how many people are going to be getting married. And now, and this is according to the Knot, now more than ever, couples are relying on trip designers, however you want to say it. You know, there are different roles. There are wedding planners, which are different than wedding coordinators, which are different than wedding designers, which are different than destination wedding planners. But now more than ever, couples are looking for the expertise. They're looking for you to do this. So now is, if you're not doing destination weddings, I think now is a great time to get into destination weddings. And as I talked about the destination elopements, and you know, you see the picture on the screen, there's adventure, there's luxury, and luxury is different for everybody, correct? Luxury, getting on a plane right now is just luxury to go somewhere. But, you know, people are looking for more unique places to go. South Africa is getting very popular. I mean, I could go on and on about the destinations, but they're looking for something unique. And also, please remember with destination elopements, just because it's 2 people, it does not mean that they're not spending the money, right? So it doesn't mean their budget's going to be different. They're spending more. They're spending more on where they're staying, on the accommodations. They're spending more on the experiences, and then the destination weddings are turning into the honeymoon. So please keep that in the back of your mind, that just because it's 2 people doesn't mean that the budget or the spend is not going to be there. And this is something I really want to talk about. And I'm going to get on my soapbox right now because, you know, the tourism industry has been so devastated with COVID. And I don't think destination wedding tourism gets the fair share of how much it brings to the GDP, because it does. It really, really does. And everyone has taken a hit, and just one destination wedding, what it brings to wherever you're having it. I mean, you know, say you're having a destination wedding, I'm just going to say Costa Rica. I mean, just everyone that's involved, you know, from, say you're hiring the wedding planner, the airlines, the venues, the DMCs, the florists. The list goes on and on and on about how much you're helping that respective destination by having a wedding there. So it really helps the destination economically. And then I really think it's important to give back. I really do. When people are traveling now, people are looking for experiences, but with everything everyone has been through, I really think they're like, you know what, we're going to go here, we're going to have our wedding, we're going to have a great time. But I know I like giving back. And when people call, you know, because say you're going to a destination wedding, I think that's a gift itself. But I always suggest, you know, they're 3-4 days events, to try to incorporate a volunteer event instead of, you know, maybe going golfing or going to the spa, to find a volunteer event that you can impact the local community with. I really think that is so important right now, local projects and activities. And then I'm going to circle back to always hire local when you go. So even though I am a certified destination wedding planner, when I'm having a wedding, a larger wedding in a destination wedding, it's always good to have a local wedding coordinator. I can't say that enough, because if you're in a different country and you have a wedding there, you need people locally that are able to get things done that you, and I can cite experiences that you're not going to be able to do if you don't have the right connections. And then always hire local. I mean, I think that that's just really, really important. And then I wanted to get on to the last, and I'm really excited about this. And I have the link up there. So as I said, I've been doing this for 25 years. I've spoken on it, I've taught on it, I've worked with tourism boards, and I've actually coordinated romance travel destination events in the Caribbean to help them bring destination weddings there. I've done all of it. But even though I've done all of it, I'm still educating myself, because there's always something to learn. And when you're doing destination weddings, I think the key things are education, collaboration, and understanding the local culture. I'm going to say that again, understanding the local culture. You need to understand it and you need to respect it. With that said, I have been a member of the Destination Wedding and Honeymoon organization from the beginning. They are just an unbelievable, wonderful organization that I have been with, and they teach. They're great with teaching. They're great with connecting people. And we're starting master destination wedding classes in September. And I am so happy that I'm on the faculty member. But it's not just me. What is so great about this is I think there's 12 or 13 of us, and we're all bringing our strong suits together. So my strong suit is different than somebody else's strong suit. So they're taking everyone's strong suit and putting it together all in this one course. And I'm really excited about it. We set up a landing page just for you. And I did a little welcome video last night. If it wasn't for the last minute, nothing would get done, right? But there it is. And it's welcoming all of you. And I know the other people, you don't need to be a member to take this. And I also know that my other colleagues that are on the faculty, they're wonderful. They really, everyone brings something different to the table. I'm seasoned, so I bring the years of experience. There's younger agents on there that I learn from, because they're bringing their ideas. So collectively, I just think this is just a wonderful course. And hopefully, if you are looking to do destination weddings, you'll think about taking it. I think I talked, and I welcome questions if anybody wants to ask anything or share anything, or I can talk more. I could talk for another 2 hours if you want me to.
Actually, Nancy, thank you for that insight. We do have a few questions.
Sure.
That we kept getting. So let's start with this one. For someone starting out in romance travel, though you might be fully established as a luxury travel company, how would you best advise to grow this extended arm? I mean, you talked a bit about hiring local, getting to know the local culture. What else would you advise to a newbie?
If you want to get into destination weddings, I really honestly think you need to take courses. And I'm not just touting what we have up here as the master destination wedding courses. To plan a destination wedding, you really need to, it's not like planning a wellness trip. You really need to educate yourself on it. So you really need to learn what there is to do. Or, if you don't take the classes to, I know a lot of people mentor. I know a lot of people that are doing destination weddings. You might be able to ask if you could maybe shadow them or sit in on a conversation. But planning a destination wedding, there were so many moving parts. I mean, I don't even, it's not just finding, it's just not finding the location, but you need to know, legally what you're going to do. So if you're going to get married in Italy, right? And if you need to know the legalities of it. You need to know if they're having a Catholic wedding, if that's different. There's a wedding itself, and then there's the vendor planning, and then there's the hotel contract. So there's all these different parts, but I do know that a lot, I'm going to throw out Italy because I do a lot of Italy. So I'm just going to throw it out there, and I'm going to give a plug to my friends in Tuscany, because I know that they have, and I'm just thinking this off the top of my head, Tuscany for weddings. I know that they will help you along. So if you are a first-time person and you get a request for Italy and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Tuscany for weddings is part of the tourism board, which I know a lot of people do have them, so they would be able to help you along. But with that said, I still think that you really need to shadow people, and you really need to take classes and to really learn how to do the weddings, because they're a whole different animal than any other kind of travel. And I can say that, and I've done every kind of travel there is.
Thank you, Nancy. I have another question here that maybe you talked about it already, but you can expand, which is, I feel like so much of Roman's travel planning is confidence and management. You're in control of such a special moment for your client. It's a big responsibility with a lot of emotions at play. Having that extended and specialist team on the ground is so crucial. And I guess a good starting point for getting into it.
Yes, it is. It's very emotional. So I'll backtrack to when somebody calls. I had said destination weddings, but when somebody calls for anything, an engagement or a proposal, you need to manage expectations, and it is very emotional. I mean, it's very emotional, and you need to always have a plan A and a plan B, but you need to have confidence in your vendors, because there's only so much that you can do. So, you need to release it to the ground vendor. So you need to be able to work with vendors, with hotels. You need to have trusted partners that see your same vision, right? So now you're sending somebody, even somebody that's going to pick you up at the airport. You have, they need to be what you would do. They need what, Nancy Barkley, Honeymoons and Get-A-Ways. If you're having somebody pick you up at the airport, I make sure that the person that I'm using is, holding up the sign and welcoming them there. And when are they going to return to pick them up? You need to have trust in your vendors, and you also need to go over things all the time with the vendors as well. So you need to manage expectations with your clients, but also with the people that you're working with. Like, this is how I work, and this is, if you want to work together, this is what we need to do.
Thank you, Nancy. Another question. It's about next year's 2023 wedding destinations. What do you think it will be the new destination, the upcoming destination for next year?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm in the US, so I think that's different for everybody. But for me, I can answer the question. For me, Europe is just been very popular. More so for smaller intimate weddings. And I think intimate weddings are here to stay. I think elopements are here to stay. I think smaller intimate weddings are here to stay. For me, Italy and Greece are very popular. But if you're looking for a larger wedding, just again, because of where I am geographically, the Caribbean and Mexico is very popular as well. Great. But that's different for somebody. If you're in, if you're in the UK, the Canary Islands might be more popular. So I really, but for me, that's what I can tell you.
Thank you. And for you personally, which is your favorite destination for a wedding?
I have to say Italy. I'm so sorry, anybody else out there, but I have to say Italy. It is. It's my favorite. I just, you know, there were so many different beautiful destinations, and I don't mean to insult anybody. I really don't, but I just think anywhere you go in Italy is just beautiful.
Brilliant. We have an interesting question here, which is, you said there's a difference between a wedding coordinator, a wedding designer, and a wedding planner, and I think you mentioned something else. So can you please break down those differences a bit and more to pulling the event together, and which are the specific roles and responsibilities for each of these?
Well, I mean, I can give an overview of what I do. So as a wedding planner, which I do, I pretty much coordinate everything, right? So I'm coordinating the destination, I'm coordinating the venues, you know, doing the hotel contracts, working with the bride, you know, for their vision and how they want to have their wedding, what their theme is. A wedding coordinator, and this is in my, you know, it could be different in different regions, but what I have seen is a wedding coordinator is more the day of. And when I say day of, I don't think there's ever a day of. I don't think a wedding coordinator life is just worked for the one day. I think they start working like a month ahead of time. But I believe the wedding coordinator is more hands-on coordinating during the day. But for instance, I did a very pretty large Indian wedding in Costa Rica, and I, as a wedding planner, coordinated everything, right? I mean, they were coming from India, they were coming from Canada, they were coming from all over the place. I was the planner. You know, I went and I did the site inspections ahead of time. I picked out the venues, I picked out, you know, the flower. I did all of that as a planner, but I hired a local wedding coordinator that I started working with maybe about 3 weeks ahead of time. And she was with me the day of the wedding, which I can get into specifics, because if you're doing a very large wedding and you're in a different country, and if something goes wrong, the wedding coordinator, which is local, the local wedding coordinator is able to pick up the phone and they're able to get something done. So, so that is my experiences with wedding coordinators. Wedding designers, I think they're brilliant. I think they're artists. I think wedding designers are the people that are going to be, you know, when I have somebody do a design, they're the people that are doing the magic. They're the people that are, you know, doing the florists, the beautiful florists, the beautiful table settings. I think they are what are considered designers. That's what I have found in my experience, that there's different things. But the role of the destination wedding planner, you're planning everything. So you need to be able to hire the wedding coordinators as well as the wedding designers.
Got it. Thanks, Nancy. Now going to honeymoons. What are the trends? Which are the trending honeymoon destinations?
Trending honeymoon destination weddings, I have been getting, for me personally, I've been getting, Greece is coming back. I don't think Greece ever goes out of style. Italy is always there. And if they have the time, and I have to say this because a lot of people are doing it last minute, but if they have the time and it's the right time of the year, Maldives is becoming very popular as well. So, and if it's quick, if it's a quick honeymoon, people are going, and again, I'm in Philadelphia, so the airlift to the Caribbean and Mexico is so wonderful. So you can just, you know, hop off to the Caribbean or to Mexico.
And we have a romantic question here. Yeah, they say, what is the most unique proposal you have organized apart from the Blue Grotto you mentioned?
Oh, I do have one. And hey, I aim to please. This is a good one. I had somebody that proposed in Iceland and they wanted to do it under the Northern Lights. Now, you know, I don't know if you've been to Iceland, but you know, the Northern Lights don't always appear. It's hit or miss. I mean, you really have to be fortunate for them to appear, but by the grace of God, I did this engagement and they planned it and they appeared. They appeared and he proposed under the Northern Lights. So, but again, that was just pure luck, because if they didn't come out, then I don't know. There was a plan B. There was a plan B for a nice romantic thing, but I was lucky they were able to appear.
We hope she said yes, right?
Yes, yes, she said yes. They're married with children.
Well, that's great. We have, this is another very interesting question, which is, would you tell us a bit more about how romance travel can benefit the local economy? How do we instill this sense of importance in our clients?
Romance travel, I think it helps the economy. So let's take one destination wedding, and I'll go back to the wedding that I had in Costa Rica. I hired, right? So we had the local wedding coordinator. So that was one thing. We had a local florist. So we're hiring the florist. Local welcome bags. So when you do a destination wedding, you make these lovely welcome bags for the guests. So I always, and this is what I do, I always do it locally. So I don't bring something from Philadelphia to give your guest if you're getting married in a tropical destination, right? So for Costa Rica, we shopped locally ahead of time, and we went to the local vendors and we bought their local coffee. We bought their local little adorable little crafts that they made, and we put it all together in a basket. So now you're helping the local vendors. The transportation people, the people that pick you up in Costa Rica, you're helping the transportation people. This one we did, this was before COVID. So this one we did a lot of, it's very, when you go to Costa Rica, it's very active. So we did a lot of out of the resort, the zip lining and different activities. So then you're helping the people that do the activities. So you're helping them. You're helping hair and makeup. So people were getting their hair and makeup done. So now you're helping the hairdressers. Everyone's getting a mani and pedi. You're helping the people with the mani and pedi. You mean it goes all the way down to the housekeeping. You have this wedding, you have all these people there. So you're helping the housekeeping. You're helping the food and beverage people. You're helping, if you think about it, one wedding, 25 different components you're having there. So all of this is helping, and you're bringing the revenue into that destination where you're having it.
Brilliant, thanks. Now, this is another good one, and I was thinking about this one as well. Why do you think there has been an increase in the allotments? I mean, this is a novelty for us, but also this person would like to know if they are followed up with celebrations at home.
Yes. And I actually talked to an adorable young guy yesterday who was, he said to me, we're getting engaged, and I'm looking at weddings, and the cost of weddings are so much, and there's so much drama and this and that. And I'm like, what about an elopement? So I think, and again, just like destination weddings aren't for everybody, elopements aren't for everybody, but elopements take a lot of, it depends on the couple, but I have found they take a lot of stress off of, just a lot of the planning. It's more carefree, because people have been, I have found people have been so stressed out because of, the pandemic and everything. So they're able to just really do what they want to do without getting any input. Because, when you have a wedding, Aunt Sue's telling you this, Mom's telling you this is telling you this. So when you go on an elopement, they're doing what they want to do. So, they're going to go where they want to go. They're going to do what they want to do. But as mentioned, what I have found, they're still doing it in style. I mean, they're still, they're still going, and they're spending more on themselves and doing what they want to do versus what other people want them to do. And to answer your question, yes, they're having, depends on the family. Some do, some don't, but they're having something when they come back. But I have found they're doing it more for themselves, because that's what they want to do. And it's less stress for them, and it's fun. It's fun to elope. It's romantic. It's romantic to say, I'm going away. I'm going to go just get married. And I've also had elopement request where it might be 4 to 6 people that they're bringing their best friends, or they're bringing somebody else with them. Couple of elopement, but
Great, thanks. Now, post-COVID, a lot of luxury travel companies are diversifying their product portfolios. How do you grow your client base for weddings?
well, you know what? Once you get that first wedding, it's really, it kind of spirals from there. But again, I started my own business with not one client. So I think it's getting back to basics. What I did is I went into local wedding things. I made, again, this is 2005, but I made trifold. I made business about myself. I made, so weddings are very visual. So I used a lot of pictures, and I went to local wedding planners. Not wedding planners, wedding salons where they sold the dresses. And I told them that I was getting into the destination wedding market. I went into my nail salon. I went into all the local businesses where I already gave business and told them that I was getting into the destination wedding planner thing. I told absolutely positively everyone that I knew. Now in 2022, there's social media. I mean, now you can just broadcast it all over the place. I just had this conversation. I'm mentoring somebody, and I just had this conversation last night with somebody that was asking, how do I do this? And, I'm not a social media guru, but there are so many different, in your area, Facebook groups. I'm in the Philadelphia area, and there are so many different wedding groups or township groups that you can just go on there and just say, I'm starting out in the business and I'm doing the destination wedding things. This is what I can do. You always have to like say how you can benefit somebody. You don't want to sell too much, but I think it's just like starting any other business. You need to get the word out there. You need to tell absolutely positively everyone. You need to have your little 30-minute or 30-second elevator speech. So if you see somebody and they say, what's new? You're like, oh, what's new? And you're able to just like tell them what's new and just get the word out and just get that first wedding. And I think once you get the first wedding, it will spiral. It's just getting the first one.
Brilliant. We have one last question for you, Nancy. It's about the wedding trends for 22-23, and what are the clients most asking or requesting as part of their weddings?
No stress. Yeah. So, you know what, honestly, and then I don't even know, and I didn't mention this, but just because I just did one, I just did a midweek wedding, which, it's like Wednesday's the new Saturday. A lot of the locations are booking out quickly. So a lot of people are looking midweek just to get more of their, more of their availability. I sidetracked off the subject, but I probably should have mentioned that that's a good thing to look midweek. I just had one last Wednesday. I'm finding that people they're just wanting to get out there. They want, if they're going to do a destination wedding, they just want everybody to have a great experience. They want to create memories, and they just want everyone to just have a good time. I mean, and that goes back to your expertise and being the facilitator and be able to facilitate that and work with the vendors where they're going to have it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing your expert knowledge with us today.
Thank you.
We have found this session to be invaluable. So if you do have any further contributions, please feel free to email either Nancy or myself so we can get back to you. And again, if you'd like to get in contact with any of our travel advisors within the community, please do so via the Connections platform. And well, thank you everyone again for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. And feel free to end this call and take very good care of yourselves.
Thank you. It was
Bye,
nice meeting
everyone.
everybody. Thank you for having me.